Hi, I am Jessica Bittman with the Greater Wilmington Convention and Visitors Bureau, and this is Bits and Bites. Today we are going to learn about the Wilmington Grand Prix, which is a premier cycling event held here every year in downtown Wilmington and throughout the area. It's from May 13th to the 15th this year, and we're going to find out it's everything from family-friendly events to a bucket list Gran Fondo. Let's go find out more.
Wow! Wow!
Hey, so I am here with Jerry Dufilly, who is the co-producer of the Wilmington Grand Prix, and we are at the top of what's known as Monkey Hill. How you doing, Jerry?
I'm great. How are you?
Great. So I hear that the Wilmington Grand Prix is kind of a big deal. Can you tell us about
yeah.
that?
So, Wilmington Grand Prix is essentially a pep rally for our city, but it is a bike race that has grown to have a national reputation. Racers come from all over the world and the country to participate, and we've just got 3 days of really unique, energizing spring fun, and you have to come see it to believe it, kind of
Wonderful.
thing.
So let's start with Friday night. What are the events that are occurring on Friday night?
So yeah, the whole event kicks off on Friday night when we have the Monkey Hill time trial and our kickoff party, and that is, I mean, if anybody's ever seen the Tour de France on TV coverage, our little scene in the climb up Monkey Hill is kind of a close facsimile to that. It is a big, basically picnic in the park where a bike race breaks out. Racers go off every 30 seconds, 3.2 miles around the Brandywine Park course. They come up these very challenging cobbles at Monkey Hill. Both sides are lined with people. We've got food trucks, we've got a live band up here, and it's just a lot of energy, and it's just really, really unique. We have people that dress up in costume, kind of encouraging the riders up. Everybody's got cowbells ringing. It's very cool.
That's awesome. So as a local, I could just like come and watch the race and have a good time with my family too, right?
Yeah, so Friday night is totally free. I mean, obviously if you order something from the food truck or whatever, then you pay for it as you go. But no, the beauty of the weekend is Friday and Saturday, admission is free for all the stuff.
Really? So tell me, let's go on to Saturday.
So Saturday we will kick off with the inaugural Major Taylor Community Ride. And so Major Taylor was, and his story is just becoming discovered now, and it's a great story. He was really the first black international sports champion in the U.S., and he was an international champion in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And he faced a lot of racism. He faced a lot of kind of unscrupulous behavior by fellow competitors who resented him being a fellow competitor. But he went on to set like 7 or 8 world records. He won a ton of races. And so his story has kind of been discovered again, and it has become kind of a symbol. There are Major Taylor cycling groups all over the country. We are doing a community ride. It's the Major Taylor message is about the inclusiveness of bicycling. And so we thought that was a great kind of message to partner with our community ride. So we have Major Taylor bike clubs coming in from all over the country that are going to be participating with that community ride to kind of kick off Saturday's events.
Wonderful. And where is that located?
That's downtown Wilmington on Market Street. That ride is free. So people just have to bring their bike and they can join it, and we'll have the announcers announcing people as they go by, and that just kicks off the day. And following it, we'll have a series of pro racers and amateur racers. We have 4 races in all, and it's a race that's on the national race calendar, so it's a big deal, and pros are competing for standing in the country. And then while all the racing's going on, we have all the restaurants open, which become course-side cafes. We have free games, rides, entertainment for families. It's sidewalk sales by the merchants. It's just pretty cool.
I love it. And I've actually been to the Saturday event, and it's fun. It's just such a great vibe, and like people lining the streets in the city. It's just a really good time to be in town for sure. So then we finish up the day on the race on Sunday. Is that right?
Sunday is the Delaware Governor's Ride and the Delaware Gran Fondo.
Okay.
And this is you basically pick your distance. It's a commercial for the state on bikes, essentially what it is. We'll leave from the Delaware Art Museum, and then riders will be able to go through Hagley and Winterthur, and it's the only time of the year you can ride your bike completely through both of those cultural attractions. And then you go on based on which route you signed up for. You do a 15-mile Governor's Ride, you do a 32-mile Media Fondo, or you do the 62-mile Gran Fondo. Adding a little bit of challenge to that, the ride itself is challenging enough, but we have 2-time climbs that are in there, and riders come in from all over to compete for King of the Hill honors and those 2 climbs. We combine their 2 times and we give medals based on their finish.
That's incredible. It sounds like a really amazing weekend, and if you haven't been through Winterthur or Hagley, what a gorgeous time of year to be riding a bike and seeing all the sights there, for sure.
Yeah, I'll tell you a little story that we had a fellow race director from Tulsa, Oklahoma. His wife has bucket list to do a Gran Fondo in every state. In 2019, Delaware was the last state that she had not been to.
I love it.
Her and a fellow rider came, did the Gran Fondo, and after it was over, they came up and talked about the Art Museum and said it was the most beautiful ride they had ever done.
Really?
So great little testimonial for our state.
Great. Well, we hope you come down to try out some of these amazing events in May. This year and every year, we're really excited to be a host, and thank you for coming and telling us and our audience about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Kelly and Miller, off the front, the Miller.
All right, I am with Scott Armstrong, who is actually a cyclist who has experienced the Gran Fondo and some of these fun events here. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Excellent, excellent. So how long have you been coming to Monkey Hill?
We've been a sponsor or involved with the time trial here at Monkey Hill for at least 10 years.
Really?
Of course, they didn't have it the past 2 years because of COVID. We began just coming and showing up, and then we started inviting friends, and it evolved into, we actually made it a business event where we became a sponsor, set up a tent, and we invite our clients.
Awesome. And how many, are there usually a lot of people? Do you find a lot of people come down just for the whole event, or?
If we have a day like today, this kind of weather, this whole hillside will be absolutely packed.
That's awesome.
It's so much fun, and what I would point out is, I'm an avid cyclist, but you could never ride a bike and still come here and have great enjoyment from an event like this.
Yeah.
It's very family friendly. There's a lot of enthusiasm, and if you've never seen a professional bike race before, you'll be amazed by the athletes themselves.
I bet. Now, do you still race during the weekend at all?
I don't do the actual Grand Prix race, but there is an event associated with the weekend on Sunday called the Gran Fondo, and I've ridden that for years.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful event. It's on some of the nicest roads and areas in Newcastle County.
Yeah.
And it goes through Winterthur and Hagley Museum, and those are roads and areas that you can't ride outside of this particular event.
Right. And are there any parts of that ride that really stand out to you every year that you just love when you get to it, either because it's almost over or just because it's a pretty part?
For me personally, and I think a lot of the riders, the best part of the ride is that we stop at Woodside Ice Cream.
Oh, yes.
That's one of the rest stops.
I love it.
So after a long ride, there's nothing better than homemade ice cream.
It really isn't. And it's funny, for those who watch our videos, I can't believe how many times we get back to Woodside Creamery because they are awesome and they touch upon everything. But that really must be a highlight after a long day of cycling.
It's a great way to wrap it up. And when you hit Woodside Creamery, you're only a few miles from home.
Wonderful. So, so for an avid biker who's looking to kind of get around and try out different races, do you feel that the whole weekend is worth trying out? And is there any certain races that you feel like a new biker or a seasoned biker should be checking out while they're here for that weekend?
I think every event's top notch.
Yeah.
From the time trial here on Friday night to the race downtown on Saturday to the Gran Fondo. They're all uniquely different.
Yeah.
And if you have the weekend available, all three are great together, or you could split them up and just experience one or two at a time.
Perfect. Well, we hope that you come to check it out either as a spectator or as a cyclist, and we'll see you next time on Bits and Bites.